somera mu ddiiro lyo ng'ewagiddwa. Maryland High School erisangibwa Entebbe, ssomero ly'abawala n'abalenzi. Tusomesa arts ne sciences okuviira ddala ku siniya esooka okutuukira ddala ku siniya ey'omukaaga, nga lisangibwa mu kifo ekiweweevu obulungi. Tulina ebisuula eby'omulembe, science laboratory ssaako ne computer lab wamu ne.
She gives you her number, but your pen didn't work and the bus is gone. Get a pen you can rely on. Big Crystal, the long-lasting pen with perfect ink flow.
Wamu ne.
Green Hill Academy has high standards of learning and the teachers are very good. They give you a sense of belonging.
Green Hill has helped me to discover my talent.
The environment is good.
Encouraged us children to be excellent.
Wamu ne.
Combo University, a private chartered university that offers world-class education at all levels, including certificates, diplomas, bachelor's and master's degrees. Our courses include computing and IT, law, journalism, nursing, business administration, education, fashion and design, and many more. Admissions for the August 2020 intake are still open. Will you join us?
Tuenze nnyo tuenzege webale kubanga okyali ku BBS Telefalina yaffe ey'obwakabaka bwa Buganda. Enteekateeka eno nga muli waka twongera okubategeeza nti ffe tujja kuba tubeerawo nnyo okubawa bye mulina okubanga mufuna nga bwe nabategeezezza nti okusaba ku ssaawa wali ku 9 paka ku ssaawa 10 tujja kuba tukubawa wano nga tuli e Lubaga era mu nteekateeka y'emu. Nammwe abatali ku ssomero olw'ensonga gyemumanyi obulungi COVID-19 muli waka ate tuleeta okusoma wano mu ddiiro lyammwe ne musobola okubanga butereevu mu kufuna. Ku ssaawa eno abasiniya eyokuna mwe mugenda mu kiraasi olwakadde nti kagenze dda njagala butereevu mukkirize mbakwase Teacher Maggie ate abeere nga batwala mu lulimi Olungereza.
Good morning, everyone. Still, I continue to thank the opportunity that has been given to us so that we can teach you while you're in your sitting room by BBS. Thank you so much. My name is Nanyonjo Maggie from Maryland High School. We also thank Maryland having sponsored this program. Today we're going to look at something new, that is how to write a curriculum vitae. But before we go to how to write a curriculum vitae, I want to thank all the students and the parents who helped their children to respond to the question that I left last week on minutes writing. I really got an overwhelming response. It was really commendable. Thank you so much for all the students who participated. I tried to really respond and mark here and there. And then these are some of the corrections that I would wish to make to all the learners that participated. Now, most candidates really wrote the minutes very well. I want to really thank the teachers out there. They have really done a very good job to their schools and their students. As I was teaching last week, I think I was doing a lot of revision with many of the learners because they had already learned this. So some of the corrections that I would like to make, as much as the formats really came out very well for most of the learners who wrote, there are some few elements that really needed to be worked upon. For example, the skipping of lines. I realized that most learners, most candidates were skipping lines. I would call upon on teachers out there to really emphasize this. The skipping of lines in English language is unacceptable. It is uncalled for. And if you do it as a candidate, marks are going to be reduced from you. Please do not attempt to do that. Stop skipping lines. Then something else I also noticed was the use of capital letters during the writing of our subtopics. For example, when we're writing the registration, members present, members absent with apology, members and so many other subtitles. For example, when I looked at the subject, the minute subjects, many of us were using capital letters. Please do not use the capital letters again. They are not acceptable. Just write the small letters and then underline those subjects. We shall take them at that. Then I also looked at the signatures. Some of us are confused on where to place which signature for either the secretary or the chairperson. Now, I said last time that the signature comes for the secretary comes first and then the signature for the chairperson. Why? I also gave a reason that the reason the secretary signs first is because she or he is the one who has written the minutes, so has to own them before they are read to the public and then accepted as a true copy. And then after that, the chairperson can sign. That's why the secretary comes first and then the chairperson. And then something else, I also noticed that after the chairperson and the secretary's signature, please endeavor to write the names of the secretary and the chairperson in capital letters. They're not in small letters because the small letters have helped us to sign. So now we're writing the names in capital letters. Then also, the language that should be used or the tense that should be focused on using while writing minutes should be in reported speech, should be past, because you're already writing something that has already taken place. And then when you look at, we need you to number the items, especially on the agenda. The reason is it's going to help you work on which minute you'll be, which item will represent which minute. For example, if we have item 1 as the opening prayer, then it will be easy for you to say minute 1, this, and this, and then you have the opening prayer as your item 1, since you already indicated it on the agenda. Otherwise, with all those, I think, and a few others, you really did very good work. I thank you so much. I tried to really respond. The response, I mean, your reaction, your response was really overwhelming. But I tried to mark some of you, sent comments. Thank you so much for your participation. It showed me, because I got participants from all walks of life, from the whole country, across the country. So it showed that there are many people out there who are really watching this program. Thank you so much for paying attention, and I know you will benefit a lot from it. Now, today I want us to put our emphasis on curriculum vitae. Now, these aspects, of functional writing are quite important and very important to us. Why? Because we use them in our day-to-day life. That's why we call it functional writing. We look at the functions of life. What will function in our life, or what helps us function in life. Yes, as much as you may have the grammar out there, you can use it very well, you can have the spoken very well, you can write very well, but are you able to function in your day-to-day life? Are you able to, in case you're in a meeting, can you be able to write minutes? Now, here we have a curriculum vitae. Somebody would ask, what is a curriculum vitae? A curriculum vitae, basically, it is just giving some more brief details of your life, career, rather personal life, career, qualifications, basically about your life, so that the person where you're applying for a job can get to know who you are. How are you to begin with? What have you achieved in life? So what are you good at? So apart from you writing the application letter and presenting it to the person, to the company you're applying the job from, or an industry, or a school, or a hospital, wherever you're applying the job, can you also give us some details about yourself? When I say about yourselves here, you're going to look at your personal life. Of course, that's a biodata. We shall look at your academic background, shall look at your work experience. Of course, sometimes you don't have any work experience, especially if you're just out of school. But if you do, you can also indicate it. You can tell us the responsibilities you've once held, maybe when you're in school, university, or even out there on from your former job or where you've been working, so that the other person who's going to employ you can get to know truly who this person is, can really see, who is this person I'm going to employ? What is this person going to add onto my business? So all this will be seen in your curriculum vitae. It may not necessarily be put in the application letter, but you realize that the curriculum vitae at least gives all the details that the other person would wish to know, or the other body would wish to know about you. And basically maybe can base on that to employ you. Actually, under many circumstances, we have seen that the application letters, as much as they're important, sometimes they're not even read. But these people are going to look at your curriculum vitae and see how far you have gone in life. Who are you? How old are you? What are those commendable skills you have? What are your hobbies? What are you good at? Basically, they're going to look at, that's why at this level in senior 3, senior 4, we really look at curriculum vitae, so that by the time we go out there in the field, in the world, we are able to express ourselves and then maybe give brief accounts of our lives and our careers and maybe qualifications. So basically here today, like I've already said that you basically give your brief details about personal life, career, qualifications. And do not forget that the curriculum vitae is enclosed with an application letter. They go hand in hand. Most cases when you're writing an application letter, do not forget to enclose a curriculum vitae, whether they have asked it from you or not, because you know it is mandatory for you to do that. Now, we're going to look at some of the basics of a curriculum vitae. What should we put in mind when we are writing a curriculum vitae? There's some things that we should put in mind when we are writing this curriculum vitae. To begin with, at least ensure that your curriculum vitae is suitable to the job you are applying. It should be suitable. Don't just write for the sake, but make sure that whatever you put in that curriculum vitae is really something that is relevant. Then we are saying that you keep your curriculum vitae short. Keep it short. Somebody's going to ask, how short? Let's look at 2 pages. There can be 2 pages. I'm saying the 2 pages, but one can also be, depending on what you have achieved in life. But we have people who have achieved a lot in life. But we are saying if you can manage, put it in 2 pages. Don't make it too long, because you're going to exhaust the other person reading, and before you know it is bored reading what is about your life. But if you have a lot and you can write more, please go ahead. However, we are saying that look at the 2 pages as at least as a good as the pages. If possible, you can compress it. Then we look at you presenting yourself in a positive way. Present yourself in a positive way. Here we're going to look at the objective. Normally when we're talking about the objective and objectives and profile, I really focus so much on the profile, because basically on the profile you're going to talk about yourself. Maybe before, what I've not talked about is that when you look at the curriculum vitae, I will give you, maybe I will recommend the Oxford Dictionary, the 9th edition. When you open the last pages, you're going to see the 2 types of curriculum vitae. We have, of course, we have the curriculum vitae, and normally the Americans call it the resume. The resume, it's just in America, but it means the same, curriculum vitae. Now, you're going to realize that there are 2 different ways of writing this curriculum vitae. We have the British style and then the American style. But I would encourage you to follow the British style, because it's what we are following as in the Ugandan context. So follow the curriculum vitae of the British style. So here you're going to see that when you look at the profile briefly you talk about yourself and present yourself in a paragraph of about 2 lines. You present yourself to the employer to be, so that within those 2 lines, within that paragraph, the employer to be can really see which kind of person is going to work with, which kind of person, besides the academics, besides what else, what are those other basics that you have or skills that you have that can identify you or can talk about you. So that's why we're saying that present yourself positively. And here we are saying you're going to present yourself positively, especially when you talk about your profile or objective. Here you can present yourself as somebody who is committed, let's say. Committed. You can present yourself as somebody who is hardworking. Let this employer to be see you as somebody who is competent. Competent, you can say smart, intelligent, and so on and so on. But present yourself in a positive way, so that this person can really see that, oh, I'm going to work with the person who is committed. Oh, I think I'm going to work with the person who is hardworking. I really want to try out and see how competent this person is, how smart, intelligent, and so on. And make sure that this presentation is made in an accurate way, so that at least you don't leave any reason to be doubted in any way to be employed. And then we are saying make your CV attractive. Make it attractive. Somebody's going to ask how. In other words, at least, because first of all, your CV is going to be typed. But as you type it, can you make sure that you type it in a better way? Which, can you make sure that at least you highlight some of the subtopics that you really wish to attract the attention of the person who's going to read it? You could decide to underline them, especially as we shall see in our presentation. Make it attractive. Make this person really go to the point that he wants to see. If this person is interested in the education background, it should be well highlighted that this is where the education background is. We're going to see as we go on in the sample, at least I've brought for you of the curriculum vitae that I've drawn, that you realize that in the education background, I've put it in the table very well, well stipulated, and somebody can easily, or it makes it easier for the person who is reading to read it very well. And so any other aspect that you think should really attract attention, put it there clearly so that the other person find ease in reading. Then the next we are saying choose a type of face, such as Times Romans. When you're typing, make sure that you choose a typeface such as Roman Times, rather the Times New Roman, then maybe Arial, and make sure that whatever you have chosen is really legible. Sometimes we write things and we do not care about others. Please take the time and make sure that people can read your work, because you do not know who is going to look at your work. Maybe he has a problem with the site. So make the letters really big enough to be seen. I'm not saying that make them extremely big, but at least make sure that they are really legible even as you do type. So basically, those are some of the few things you should put in mind when you're writing your curriculum vitae, so that as you present it to that person who's going to read it, you ensure that clarity is very important, and then the way you present yourself, the other person will take it in mind. The way you present yourself will either make you get the job or even sometimes not get it, depending on how you've done it. So basically, today we're going to look at some of the aspects, some of the things that we should really put in our curriculum vitae. While we are writing our curriculum vitae, what are those things we should not forget to put? What are those things we should ensure that we really consider in writing? Okay? We're going to look at, we're saying that a curriculum vitae should, to begin with, we're going to look at the biodata. This is personal information or personal life. And maybe you could ask, what are we going to put in the biodata? Here, to begin with, we shall have what we call the name. You put your name. Depending on what your name is. You could say Nanyonjo Faith. That is your name. Then you come and you say, you put your date of birth. You indicate it there. You could maybe say 12 February. Maybe, let's say, 2002. Then after there, you could decide to come up and say, what else should we have in our biodata? You could say maybe gender. Normally we put sex. Female. Then you come and say nationality. Nationality, you could be, if you're Ugandan, you put Ugandan. Then you could decide to maybe marital status. Could say single. If you're married, you also indicate that you're married. But of course, being students being students in school, we may not expect you to be married. However, depending on what you're writing, because sometimes the question comes in an assumption, assuming you've already graduated in this, and then this is how, maybe there is a job here, and then we expect you to write a curriculum vitae. You could decide to put whatever you want. It could be You're married or you're single, or contented, whatever you, but normally we are either married or single. And then from there we shall have the address. And here in this address, I've categorized it in 3. I have the physical, where you exactly stay. I could say maybe Zana, maybe Wachiso. Then you could put telephone, your telephone number. You think of any number. Then you could put your email also. You say, this is Nanyonjo Faith @gmail.com. So basically, those could be the few elements that you could put in your biodata, your personal information. What really says, talks about you. You give your, sometimes they will ask, you can write surname and then you write the other names. Of course, you know what the surname is. That would be Nanyonjo. Then the other names could be maybe Faith Evans, something like that. Then you give the date of birth as written there, or as you can see on the screen. Then you give your sex, which is either female or male. Then the nationality, where you were born, or where you originate, and then marital status. There are other aspects that you could put, but these are the basics of what you could have. Then your address, basically how people can contact you. If they want you, where they can find you. The physical address, sometimes you could even add the box number, okay? Then you give your telephone number in case they don't find you there or they can't find you there. Can they call you on which numbers? Then you indicate them. Then you also indicate your email in case you have one. That is basically the personal information. We shall continue and say what else should a curriculum vitae have. A curriculum vitae will also expect you to make sure that you neatly at least write and express yourself in the most neat way so that you're clear. I think I talked about clarity at the beginning. And then we are going to have maybe a profile, like we said, because after you've written your biodata, then the other person who is about to employ you would wish to know you more. What else can you say about yourself? So let's go to the profile, and then we shall say, under profile. Remember, I said you highlight or you underline most of the areas that you think are really important and can catch the eye of the other person who is about or who is reading your CV or curriculum vitae. So here I could say, since I use the name Nanyonjo, here on the screen you could read and see our profile. Conrad is a smart, committed, hard-working young man who is enthusiastic about work and is able to accomplish duty with minimal supervision. So remember what I said about talking about yourself in a positive and accurate way. Positive way, you present yourself in a manner that will show the other person that you're really competent enough, you're smart, you're intelligent, and you know what you're going to do. I think every employer would wish to work with a person who is really committed. Every employer would wish to work with a person who is hardworking. Every employer would wish to work with a person who has those best qualities. So why not present yourself in such a manner that will show the employer to be that you're such a kind of person that he has been looking for, that you're 1 in a million, that you're that kind of person this person has been looking, or this company has been longing for. So like we have said, we present ourselves in a positive way. So here we shall say Faith. You talk about yourself in a positive way, like we have said. Faith is a competent. Those are different positive adjectives that bring out the positive way of expressing yourself or talking about yourself or describing yourself. Is a competent, let's say, competent, intelligent, smart young woman. who is committed to do work, or rather to work with the, shall I say, minimal supervision. There are people who always want to be supervised at work, but here you're trying to show the person who is going to employ you that with or without supervision, me, I can do my work very well. And I think every employer would wish to work with such a person. So basically here, the essence we have this profile is to briefly talk about, you summarize yourself in a positive way, but in a short form, to show the other employer of the kind of person he's about to deal with. So after the profile, we're going to look at the education background. Remember, we have said that education background. We have said that while you're presenting your ideas or your aspects in the CV, if possible, bold the letters. If possible, underline them. If possible, at least show clarity. Attract the attention of the person reading to those subheadings that you feel that this person will need to look at. The person, like I said before, the person might just be interested in your biodata. And the moment you highlight a biodata, he immediately, if that's what he's looking for, your personal life, he will immediately go to that. If you have highlighted, let's say, the education background, and that's what he's been looking for, he will directly go to that, whichever page it is on. So here it is followed by the education background. And so the education background, this one briefly talks about, how far you have gone in academics. What have you achieved in academics? So here, this is where your qualifications will be brought out. And we are saying that when you're talking about the education background, please begin from the highest, the highest achieved. If you graduated yesterday, maybe with your PhD, begin with that. If it was last year that you graduated with a master's, begin with that. If it was the other year that you graduated with either bachelor's, a diploma, begin with that. So we are beginning with the highest achieved in our education or in our career, rather qualification. So here, what I've done to make it a little bit more organized and simpler, so I have drawn a simple table like this, or as you could see on the screen. So you look at the education background, how it has been drawn or how it has been written. The first column we have is for years. Then we shall have the schools or institutions you have gone to. We shall have the awards that you achieved from there or you got. Could be award or awards. So basically, that is how our table looks like. This is how where I have Conrad Obiaga. Conrad Obiaga went to school, has achieved his bachelor's of statistics and accounting, and that is his highest achieved. So he went to that university 2010 and to 2013. That is Kabale University, and that's where he got his bachelor's of statistics and accounting, and that is his highest achieved. So from there, we go below and we see it from 2008 to 2009, he went to Kauku High School. And what did he get there as the award? He got the Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education. I know many students, many learners will find this very long and they would want to shorten it. Please do not shorten. Do not write them in abbreviations. Write them in full as I have written them on the screen, as you see. So we go below and then see from 2004 to 2007, Obiaga Conrad James went to Kolo High School, and what did he get there? He got Uganda Certificate of Education, that is the level of Senior 4. And then we look at his primary level. Where did he go from 1997 to 2003? He went to Vitae Primary School. And then he got the primary living examination certificate. It was not indicated there, certificate. So that is what he achieved there. Now, depending on what you don't say that, but now I must write somebody with, if you are a person who has achieved a master's, or maybe if the assumption was that you have achieved a master's, please indicate it there. And if the assumption is you have achieved a PhD, also indicate it there. If the assumption is you have achieved a degree or a diploma, do not escalate. I know the question will come with an assumption of what level of education you are. And please read the question very well and understand it, which will make your work easy while you're writing this curriculum vitae. Because I imagine I'm speaking to people whose highest level of education is primary 7. They have not even achieved their Uganda certificate of education. But I know if a question comes, it will come with an assumption of you have attained a given level of education. Please read the question very well, understand it so that you can include it in your education background. So that is what we have at our education, with our education background. I have drawn a table like this. I normally ask my candidates to draw a table so as to organize their work in such a way so that it comes out very clear and easy to see and identify what they have written. So from the education background, we shall go to the working experience. Do you have any working experience? Shall go to the working experience. If you do not have any working experience, do not die. Don't sacrifice yourself. The truth is you don't have it. But if the question comes and they have asked you to assume that you've worked, let's say, in given areas, depending on what you've studied. Maybe you've ever worked in a factory as this. You've ever worked in this industry as this. You've ever worked in this company as this. Now, those are assumptions that will be given to you, or sometimes created, because at this point, we expect a learner to be very creative or to bring the creativity skills at high or at large. So here we have our Conrad as our candidate here. Conrad has, when you look at the working experience, 2018 to 2020, where we are, Conrad has been a branch manager at Stanbic Bank, Masindi. And what has he done? Some of the roles he has participated in, all this, the responsibilities. He has supervised all the branch activities, including loans or giving out loans, the other banking services. So we have here, he has indicated the years also, and he has begun from the highest, where he is or where he has been. That is if he still has that job. Yeah, he has indicated the years. Sometimes you might even indicate the months when you acquired that job and up to when. So there we are. And then he has also gone ahead to tell us that from 2016 to 2017, he was also working somewhere else, that is accounts manager at Masindi Teachers Circle. And what did he do there? Some of the responsibilities he had there, he kept teachers' books of accounts, gave out loans to teachers, updated teachers on their financial statuses. So you're going to see that this person is showing you which years he has spent at a given working station and what were his responsibilities there. So as you write, you should also be in position to do what? To show us that. Remember, Conrad graduated from what you've been seeing on the screen. He graduated in 2013. So the imagination is since 2013 he has been working. And so we shall continue to look at his working experience. Telling us from 2014 to 2015, when he graduated from Kabale University. He has been working as a bursar. Okay? He has been working as a bursar at St. Peter's. St. Peter's Primary School. Primary school or boys' school in Kabale. So when this person graduated in 2013, he did not get the job immediately, but in 2014 he got a job, on which station he stayed from 2014 to 2015. Then from there, that's when he went up to 2016 and 2017. He also worked there. He also went to 2018, 2020, where he was. So today, we do not know the job right now he's asking for. I want to imagine that the job he's asking for is within the lines of accounting, because this is what he studied, this is where he specialized, and if you look at his area of experience, this is what he has been working at. He has been a bursar. Of course, a bursar in school keeps money and maybe looks at books of accounts of a given school. If you look at his experience in 2016, 2017, he's still been keeping books of accounts of teachers' circle. And then when you look at 2018, 2020, he has been working at Stanbic Bank, and he has been looking at, rather managing areas of loans and then the other banking activities. So you really see that his area of specialization is in accounting and maybe statistics as he studied. Maybe the job he's applying for is a better job, a bigger job than this he has been doing. But basically this is his area of rather working experience. So from the working experience, we shall go and then show what are those personal attributes that we have. We want to look at those good characteristics that I think the other person could admire from us or would make use of in case all that those characteristics that we would use to improve on maybe a company's well-being. So we want to see who can make us better or make the company better in case we join. So we are looking at Conrad's personal attributes as one is saying that he's a reliable person. Reliable people are hard to find, but if he's one, then that means we can rely on in any way that you may maybe understand, or the other person who is about to employ you may understand. Maybe you're the kind of person who can do something even extra, the work extra, more than what maybe you've been asked to do. Maybe you can fill in positions of others in case they're not there. Then we are looking at another attribute as being honest. Everyone would wish to work with a person who is honest, really. Then we are looking at somebody who is saying that he's quick to learn. What about this? I mean, this is a good characteristic of a person. If you are quick to learn, because sometimes when you're about to join a given company or a given body or a given workforce, there are some things that you're going to be trained on all about. So if you're that kind of person who's very fast to learn, then everybody would wish you to join them. Otherwise, there are people who are very slow to learn, and they will take a lot of time and they will take a lot of resources, and before you know it, maybe they have not even learned. So everybody would wish to work with a person who has such kinds of attributes. So please talk about yourself so that this person who is about to employ you get to know how good you are and some of the good things you're going to add on their workforce. Then we're going to look at some of the skills. Some of the key skills that you may have. What are those skills that you have with you or you may have acquired? Because sometimes I know I tell my students that after your school, after your university, because sometimes you think that after my senior 4, I'll go to senior 6, then after senior 6, I'll just go to university for 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, and then I will be done with education. My dear, sometimes things are not like that. Sometimes things don't end like that. Within that, maybe while you are at university, or sometimes in your senior 4 vacation, senior 6, you may acquire a skill here and there. And this could be maybe the computer skill. This could be maybe communication skills. This could be a different language, acquiring or learning a different language. So all these skills, we need them. And so some of the skills that Obiega Conrad has, one is high levels of confidentiality. High level of confidentiality. And then 2, we're going to see that this person has computer skills. And within this, he has at least he can do the word processing. And then we also see that he has a clean driving permit. Maybe with this, if you will have saved the company an extra cost of paying for a driver for you. That means if they avail you with a vehicle, you're able to drive yourself wherever maybe you're supposed to drive. Then this person also has excellent communication skills. So these are some of the skills that this person has. You could add on, you could have so many other skills. You could maybe sign language, and maybe any other skill that you may wish to add on, which you think can help you get that job. Please make sure you avail it so that your employer to be can really see that you're the very person who suits that job that you're about to get. Then sometimes you could talk about the languages spoken. Sometimes you could talk about the languages. This is also a skill, but sometimes in detail. Languages spoken. Yes, here, sometimes you could also go ahead to draw maybe a table. You could go ahead and then tell us here. Let's say here, maybe English language, then maybe Kiswahili, and maybe let me put French. Here we could put for you we could say very good. And then good. And then here we could say fair. Here we expect you being a student of, we expect you being a student of English language to speak English very well, unless otherwise. So here we shall have very good, here we shall have good, and then here we shall have fair. So here when it comes to English, here we expect you to put a tick. And then here Kiswahili, maybe if you're good, and maybe French, we shall also expect you to be, fair. At least you have. Now, let me assume that they're going to employ you in areas, rather in UN, and you're supposed to go to an area where there is French speaking. If you can fairly speak some French, then why not get that job? So make sure that you show the person, I mean the employer to be, how many languages you can also speak. It could be a clear way or paving way for you to get that very good job. The table is not very clear here, but you could put it very well and then bring out what you're exactly talking about. We have already talked about the communication skills and then and so forth. So here we're going to look at the referees. Do not forget the referees. The referees. Who are the referees? The referees, basically, these are the people who can talk about you, people who can say some things about you. So make sure that the referees know you very well. And if possible, call them prior before you put their names and their addresses and telephone numbers on your curriculum vitae. So the referees could be about 2 or 3, depending on how many you know. These could range from personal, people who know you personally, people who have told you, like your teachers. I normally ask my students, if you wanted a referee from your teachers here or from school, whom do you think can recommend you? And they laugh, because some of them have been very stubborn. But in most cases, these teachers will recommend you if you give them a call prior, or if you remind them of who you are. And some of them will remember you even if you don't remind them. But you have to let them know that you've put their names there as your referees. So let these referees get to know. So you could come here and say, here, Conrad, put 3 referees. And so one of them is Mr. Walugembe Herbert. Herbert. And what is his address? He's the head teacher. He's the head teacher. One of the schools that Conrad went to, the head teacher, Kauku High School. And then you could put the box number there because they may want to write to him. Maybe 8670. Wachisu. And then you put his telephone number as well. His telephone number. That is it. So you could have here another referee. You could have Miss Awori, Bridget, who is the dean? Dean Kabale University. Kabale University. P.O. Box 8602 Kabale. And then you put her telephone number. You put her telephone number there. That is in case they need any. You could also put their emails if you have. And in case they need anything, they need more information about you, they can go ahead and call Mr. Walugembe, who is the head teacher of which school you went to. Then you can call also Miss Awori Bridget, a dean of the university you went to. These people could talk well or good really about you. Then after that, we look at the declaration, how you declare the information that you've written, because the curriculum vitae is very personal and individual. So you must own it. Then last we shall look at the declaration where you say, I declare that the information above is true and mine. That is a very strong statement that you make there. And when you make it, you should own it and make sure that it is really true information. Then after that, on your left-hand side, you come and sign. You come and sign, and then put your name. Actually, against the signature, you put your date, the date of the day you have signed that curriculum vitae. Because we keep on changing this curriculum vitae depending on our achievements. So after there, you come and say, I declare that the information above is true and mine. And after that, you come here and sign. And then here you say, of course, again, it's a signature. You come and say, let's say 10th April 2020. This is the most recent curriculum vitae that you have. And so here we shall come and write our name, Obiaga Conrad James. So that is your curriculum vitae with you. And I hope at the end of the day, we have learned how to write a curriculum vitae. And I know that at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to write your own curriculum vitae. Now, I want to leave a question with you so that you can try it out on your own. Sometimes when I read this question, the students don't get it very well. Today, I want to write it down. So I'll say question. So the question is, assuming you are a graduate of medicine and a job has been advertised of a medical doctor at Kisubi Hospital, write a CV to accompany your application letter. So that is the question. I'm going to expect you to write that CV very well. Make sure you clearly present it as we have learned throughout our lesson. Thank you so much for being attentive. Until we meet next time.
Nnyo tuyanzege teacher Maggie okutuwa ate oluzungu olwo bantu bangi abatawanyizibwa okuwandiika CV zaabwe oluusi n'oziraba nga zirimu ebizibu bingi kakasa nti oyambye ba senior 4 bokka wabula n'abo abali ku university abadde bafuna obuzibu obwo. Atweyanza nnyo essomero lya Maryland High School ate lituwa omusomesa ono ate era mu ngeri emu n'okutekamu ensimbi okulaba nga terefayina esobola butereevu okutuusaako ate okusoma kuno wadde nga abaana bali waka. Twakutegeezezza nti kawungeezi ku ssaawa 9 olunaku olwali tugenda kuba tulina enteekateeka ey'enjawulo naddala enteekateeka ey'emmisa eyo eya Good Friday. Kakati omusomesa waffe agenda kujja ku ssaawa eno abeere nga atutwala mu ssomo eryo eryali baddewo kawungeezi era essomo erya Pure Math. Njagala tugende tugenda mu kuwummulako bwe tudda butereevu tujja kuba tugenda mu ssomo eryo tuleme kutwala akadde olw'okuba nti akadde era tulina katono nnyo. Sigala ng'olaba terefayini eyaffe ayi Katonda akuuma masomo ge.